Well, a very good evening to you. What you are seeing and beholding on your screen now are, well, of the most beautiful people in the world. Um, three, most of them are in South Africa. So it's like 4 against 1 tonight. 4 South Africans in the south against 1 South African in the north. Of course, since I am the best, I will score most of the goals. But you're very, very welcome in this particular space. My name is Theophilus van Rensburg Linster, and you are joining us here. And I'm broadcasting live from Stockholm in Sweden, and this is where we are sitting at the moment. And every single week, we've had a break for about 2 weeks, but every week, when we are broadcasting, we try and support and promote vocational training in agriculture in South Africa. We have a project called Agri Academy that is hosted in 3 different locations in South Africa. And some of you who are tuning in tonight have been very, very good to us. You've supported these young people. You've supported teachers who are standing in the gap and making sure that these young people get an opportunity to acquire knowledge in agriculture, sharpen their skills so that they can do one of 3 things. Number one, become a lot more employable in the marketplace of agriculture, whether that's on the farm or nursery. And secondly, give them an opportunity to maybe think of their own business. And thirdly, even contemplate to go study further. And some of our students have actually done that. And so we're very, very pleased that your support have enabled us to be able to achieve this. And we're thankful for that. So I'm going to just go straight into introducing these folks now to you. Yeah, all of you are live now on the screen, and so very, very welcome. Let's start with you, Mathias. Very welcome. Don't forget to switch that unmute button of yours so that we can hear you clearly.
All right. So my name is Mathias Mvula. I'm from Zambia, and I'm an advocate of sustainable agriculture, and I have been carrying out trainings, and I'm the best friend to the students, especially. So I've done trainings in South Africa, I've done trainings in Zambia, in Botswana, Malawi, where we just focus on sustainable agriculture, but also making our own inputs. So yeah, that's me. I spring from the business faculty. I I missed the point, like I missed the goal, but I realized later that my passion was much more into agriculture, and I found myself. And after finding myself, I've worked with a couple of companies, and the previous company, I went into the rank of being the CEO, and we are running sustainable agriculture. And it was so interesting that most of the universities in Zambia and also part of the universities in Zimbabwe, they were coming over to the farm to just come and get the knowledge about sustainable agriculture and also making of organic inputs. So yeah, that's where I spring from.
Fantastic. And tell us a little bit more. You an author. You published a book not so long ago.
Yes, so at the age of 13, I had a dream, though it was just a mere thing. But then at the age of 16, I had the same dream. So I looked at myself and I said, oh, okay, I'm just coming from maybe, say, the village and the like. But then this dream is so unique. So in that dream, I saw myself like flying from country to country to go and teach people in business and also in agriculture. But then, because at first, when you are just looking at your there, that was way back somewhere in 2001, 2002, somewhere there. So when you look at the career then, we're just looking at it as just something that should sustain you. But then that dream was so unique such that at the age of 16, I with somebody else, and that person told me to say, you have to nurture what you have because what you have is so great. So
Fantastic.
I followed suit, and at some point I realized to say I had the gift of writing books, and the like. So I wrote my book, which is called um, how to navigate life when things starts going wrong.
Mm.
So that book is dear to me because it's where I wrote most of the things that have happened in my life. Because for me to stand here today, I'm a miracle. Because at some point, I was almost bashed and I almost died. But when you look at me today, I don't have any defect. So I escaped about three different, accidents. So from there, all that package, I had to put it together, and I said, okay, I need somebody to also learn about my journey because I'm not coming from a rich family. I don't want the rich family to come from me. And as I'm speaking to you, I think my son, who is less than 5 years, he owns a car, of which my dad died without owning a car. So I'm looking at life from that perspective, and it's just so interesting. And I love sharing knowledge with maybe students and just the people around me. So
To keep an open hand
that's
up.
about that book. And
Yeah, that's very good. And I do think that it sounds like you have an open hand about what you know, that you like to share that. Not everyone has that. Some people like to keep knowledge for themselves for selfish reasons, of course. But that's not the approach to life. And so, for those of you just tuning in on this broadcast, thank you so very much for making time to spend with us. We really appreciate that. And we're in three different locations in the world. Two of those locations are down in South Africa, a little place called Concordia, which is just south of the Namibian border in the northern part of South Africa. And the other one is in Rustenburg, and this is part of the Northwest province in South Africa. So those two groups that you are seeing, I'm just bringing them up on the screen now. They are sitting about, I think, maybe 1,000+ kilometers apart from each other, from a west to an easterly point. All of them sit about 10,000 kilometers away from me, but thankfully, with technology, we're able to have this conversation. Now, the people that you're seeing there in the group there, I'm going to just get them to share and tell who they are, and they're using their teacher's broadcast. So that's why you can see there Marco Engelbrecht's name is on the screen. But there's only one Engelbrecht in that group, and I'll get him to start introducing himself. Just tell us a little bit about yourself in as brief as you possibly can. So, Danville, if you can begin, and don't forget to press that unmute button, or if you have, you guys are on top, or you have a sidekick. They have a sidekick. They have some. They have somebody. How cool is that, Matthias? These kids have got somebody that operates their mute and unmute button. I would like to have someone like that. Danville, who is Danville Engelbrecht?
Good evening, all. I hope you can hear me fine.
We can hear you clearly.
I am Daniel. I am Daniel Engelbrecht. I am IT professional. Um, yeah, I think that's all you need to know about me in regards. So I'm a IT guy. So yeah, that's Daniel in short.
Thank
I'm
you.
from Concordia. I'm 24 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good information.
Good
Thank you,
evening.
Danville. Stacy Lee, sorry to cut your word there. Go ahead.
It's okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Stacey Rutledge, 18-year-old. I'm from Concordia, and I graduated high school last year. So I'm in the project of Seed for Africa, as we all are. Yeah, I think that's all you can know about me for now.
For now, that's right. All right.
Um, Good evening, everyone. I am Benedict Arnser. I'm 23 years old, and so far I've only studied tourism, but I'm glad to be part of this project of Seed for Africa.
How old are you, Matthias? Did you say how old you are, or did I miss that?
Yeah, I did so. I'm 23 years old.
Okay. Is that 23 with tax or without tax?
Without.
without tax. uh, yeah, what is very, very interesting, and I'm glad the three of you joined us. And Matthias, this is maybe good for you to hear as well. So these three young people are part of a bigger group of young people that are part of a bridging program in agriculture where they acquire knowledge and sharpen their skills within agriculture. So it's a vocational training in agriculture program. And now, what makes them a little bit unique here is the fact that they are part of a team that are busy packing their bags. Um, and packing their bags, you may want to know, oh, goodness, where are they going? Can I go with them wherever they're going? I don't know if you can, but um, so Stacy Lee, I am right. You are packing your bags. Why are you packing your bags?
We won the competition and we're going to Italy.
As powerful and as simple as that. We won a competition and we're going to Italy. Danville, do you want to update us a little bit? What was this competition about?
This was a social hackathon that we took part of. We were a group of how many were we? Seven.
Mm.
Yeah. There was two groups from Concordia that went. We were met by two other groups there, and then these Italians that um, guided us through this competition and yeah, and the journey, the learning journey. So the competition is about agriculture, and then the project we did is to show that how we uh, are busy with sustainable growth of vegetables and so on in our community, and then using the resources available to us. Um, I don't know. We can just say that I won't say that the project that we presented was the best. It's just that the best presenters. So yeah, yeah. So that's
Well, we
basically
can
the
always,
competition.
yeah, we can always give that prize to somebody else, and let them go to Italy, just so you know.
Yeah, they came to
Venitas has not in his life. So this competition was part of a EU-funded project that basically aims to actually strengthen the quality of the teaching. So the EU project called Seed for Africa, the aim is actually to improve the quality of the vocational training in agriculture teacher. But the best way to determine whether a teacher is doing her or his job is to see how well the students perform under stress. And so that competition was not just your, as a team, assessment of how well you do, but it's also indicated as to how well the teachers taught you. And so I wanted to just get back to you on that one on terms of the teacher. Matthias, you were saying earlier that you um, do have a heart for teaching and training. Is this something that's always been part of you, or is this something that grew on you over time? Have you always been a teacher? Has that been your first occupation?
Well, while in school, while in secondary school, there
Mm.
was a strategy that I discovered about studying. So while in secondary school, you'll never find me busy studying like with books.
Mm.
My way of studying was teaching others. That's how I was able to study. So when I teach others, for me, I understood something like maybe times three or by five, something like that. And then over time, I discovered that I just had that passion to train others. So at some point, I even gave myself a motto. I said, I'm equipped to equip others.
Mm.
So it's a passion that I've had like from my childhood. I'm 40 now, but this I've seen it like in me, where people expect that I'm going to charge them. I don't charge. I just teach people. But if it's something that calls for them to pay me, I don't refute that. But if at all you would understand it from the perspective of my passion, it's not something that I've learned today. It's something that grew in me. I've never been a teacher, but I teach so well, such that even in university, we at one point we were given a task
Mhm.
to raise in Zambian kwacha it was 7 million then. I think in US dollars it could be about $5,000. So we are given that task to raise that money without capital. So by then I was doing marketing. So we had to sit down and brainstorm, and we said, okay, we are going to approach the chain stores and we are going to tell them that we want to advertise their product. So it was an issue of us looking into their books and say, okay, what are the average sales that you do have on particular days? And then they were open enough to say, oh, okay, since you are students from the University of Zambia, then you can come through. And then we saw that. And then they gave us the opportunity to say, okay, um, do whatever you want to do. So we had to come up with brochures, flyers just to share among the people. And then we invited musicians, and we didn't pay them upfront, but we believed that we were going to make it. And after doing that, fun enough, we raised times two the
Wa-
amount of money that the
Wow.
university taught us. So we're able to also help our fellow students, and from there, it's just a passion that has grown in me.
Mm. Fantastic. We need teachers. We need teachers that are passionate and that looks at the teaching profession as a calling. We've talked on this broadcast before about the value that competition brings to the learning environment for young people. And I wanted to go back to you, gang, there from Concordia. And Venitaz, I wonder if you could maybe comment on this. So, part of this project has been managed by Learning Academy Worldwide, which is a South African non-profit organization that basically works within education and training. And so, this whole Seed for Africa project expected from you to be very engaged in a variety of learning environments and learning settings, both online and in person. And so, what did that project mean for you, Venutaz?
To tell the truth, that this project opened my eyes to a new, how can I say, new set of values in myself, and to show me that I am capable in more than I think I am, that where I am born or raised does not define what I'm capable of, and that I personally can help my community and the future generation.
Wow, that's really powerful. That sense of confidence. What are some of those new values that you're thinking of that you learned?
At the end of the day, how I grew up, I was an introvert.
Mm.
So I learned social skills, but also the values of working with people and respecting, and how to respect myself on the end of the day. And gaining this knowledge, I also learned that a lot of people needs help, and the value of helping people means if you help someone, you, it on the end of the day you help people's future, and you may receive good fortune on the end of the day by helping people.
Mm. Well, that's incredible. Now, Stacey Lee, that I remember in that moment when you guys, there was a lot of suspense in the middle of March, just before the winner was announced. But I did notice that there was a little bit when you guys heard the news. Um, there was a degree of shock. I think you had your hand, both of your hands in front of your face, and almost in disbelief that this happened. Um, was did you have you are you over the shock?
To be honest, I am over the shock. Not actually, because I'm still preparing myself for actually going to Italy. But if I can recall, we didn't actually think personally, I didn't actually think we could win. I thought the competition was actually it was very tight. So I thought, okay, we actually it's a 50-50 chance.
Mm.
This person can win, this group can win, or we can win. So I wasn't confident enough in us, and confident enough in us, and I think it's actually wrong for that because I shouldn't have doubted us. Because look how far we've come
Mm.
and the difference we've made.
But do you think it's maybe part of that values that Venutas is talking about in terms of, feeling that you're capable, one that you can do it? Would you share his view that this was a surprising compliment for the fact that you've actually learned some really great skills and that you are capable?
Yes,
Mm.
I actually do believe the small time we had in George, the entire competition, it taught me so many things to learn like in that time.
Mm.
Same like Venokez. I'm not the most social person, but George made me more
Mm.
social. It made me come out of my comfort zone.
Mm.
And I just feel like it's very nice to
Mm.
know that I'm capable of what I've achieved this
Mm.
far.
Fantastic.
Me speaking as an 18-year-old, yes.
Mm. So, Matthias, I want to just bring you in on that point. Is that encouraging for you as a teacher to hear just how these young people's level of confidence improved as a result of competing at a national level in a competition?
It is a great joy, actually. I'm just amazed where I'm seated here to
Mm.
hear like each one's, you know, line of thought in line with how they are branding into what they are becoming. That is so great for me
Mm.
as somebody who is especially sustainable agriculture because when it comes to sustainable agriculture or learning any other aspect of life,
Mm.
for me, it springs off from the aspect of mindset change. Once the mindset has changed, then it means we are like earmarked for greatness. We are on the road to achieving greater things.
Mm.
So it's not a one-sided thing. It's what the first guy spoke about to say, for me, I'm seeing great change in myself, not only in what they want, but himself personally. He's seeing that great change. And that to me as a teacher, it's a great thing. It's a great component that, because when you look at the learning institute, it's not just one thing that we go and learn or that we teach people out there.
Mm.
It's the whole lot of a life set. So that is a great joy to me because it entails that there is the great aspect of mindset change, but also these are leaders that are being branded into that which is going to take over one time because I'm not going to be there in the next 50 years. I'm going to be long gone. But then there has to be that transition because life continues. And if life continues, then the greatest leaders are those that groom others into what they can become tomorrow. So for
Fantastic.
me, it's a great joy.
It's really, really good to hear. And it was almost sort of lead me into the next point because I want to bring Danville in here. Danville, he called himself an old man when he introduced everyone at this competition. It's very, very interesting. So when the group came up on stage to present, and I'm just going to do something a little bit different here. I want to bring up, this is really for the audience purposes. You cannot see this, but on the screen now is that triumphant report of these young people who won this particular competition, and this happened on the 15th of March. Well, the report was written on the 15th of March. but the project ran over 2 days, 11th to the 12th of that month. And I'm just browsing through it for those of you who are joining us. And of course, as always, as you can see now, there's the entire group as they are seated there together with visitors from outside of the country. Well, for 3 different countries, from Benin, from Kenya, and from Italy. These were judges. And what you're seeing now is a link to the actual winning presentation. So Matthias, I'll share this link with you later where you can actually look at the actual presentation. And then but just before everything started, Danville was the one who introduced everybody. Now, Danville may be surprised that I remember these things, but there are a couple of things that Danville said on that day that I remember. The first thing was that, you like videos? We've got videos. And I was like, this is a good line. And that introduced the video presentation that they made, Matthias, on that day. And so, but Marco, I want to get you in here. When you introduced the team, you strutted on the stage as if you looked very confident. Was that the whole idea? Were you trying to portray a confidence there, or did you know that you were going to win?
Theo, I'm not sure if the question is for me or for
Yes,
Marco,
it's for you.
because
It's for you. It's for you.
Yeah, because you just said Marco.
Did I
So,
say Marco?
yeah.
I'm so sorry. I meant Danville.
Yeah. So a big part of our presentation and the way we conducted ourselves in front of everyone was our mentor for the 2 days, Julianus. So Julianus actually told us that there's no reason to be scared, and there's no way you can fail to deliver your message, because the people don't know what your message is, so they don't know what to expect. So if you feel that you should have said something or you left something out, don't show it to them, because they don't know that. And that I went up on stage with that attitude, knowing that they don't know what I'm gonna say. And then I don't know, maybe that looked like the confidence, but yeah, I was shaking in front of so yeah, I just think it's the mindset and not the confidence itself.
That's very, very interesting. And you had a real good way of introducing everybody's part as you were sharing, because you just had 5 minutes to make your case, and that was rather impressive as well. Um, th- did that help you sense that you have a team with you here? It's not just you on your own.
Yeah, definitely. When you up there, it can get quite scary. But knowing that you can say, my colleague will explain this. She will tell you better, or you will tell you better. We have someone operating the visuals there. It just makes you worry about one thing less, and then you can focus on portraying the part that you wanna or you have to portray. You can portray it the best of your abilities.
I thought that was really, really great. And, maybe this is possibly something that you were hinting at, Matthias. I'm just back with you there now, because you were talking about, in a sense, the idea that you were sharing earlier on your own life, that you felt that you were coaching others who would be coaching others, like training others who would be training others. Now, I was mentioning Marco because Marco is the teacher there. And so Marco was teaching, is part of the teaching team that were teaching these guys. But it looked like even in Danville's case, who just spoke now, he's taken on some leadership responsibilities as well, and beginning to see this incredible model that is developing. That is really, really fantastic to hear. And just tell me just one more thing, Daniel. At what point, if at all, did you know um, this is it? We're going to win this prize. We're going to Italy. Was there a moment like that?
Um, I don't know if it's something like it didn't come clearly.
Mm,
It only came afterwards when we already won. But I don't know if you've noticed that while we were doing our presentations,
mm,
I had on a T-shirt with Learning Academy Worldwide and all these logos,
mm,
the T-shirts that they gave us.
mm.
And then after the presentation, I went and changed. So I put on a plain white T-shirt and a blazer. So I came ready for that. So yeah, it was just something there. It didn't speak at that point to say that no, uh, you are gonna win. But afterwards, it was just the Lord showing me that I need to get ready.
That's crazy. I didn't notice that. So you went to change your clothes to get ready to receive the prize. Did you hear me, Danville?
I'm sorry, we lost connection.
Yeah. No, I was just asking. That is amazing. I did not notice that. But are you telling me that you went to change your clothes so that you can become that you came with you went to dress in clothes that represent a readiness to receive the winning prize?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
That's incredible. Oh my word. Listen, for those of you who have just joined us, my name is Theophilus van Rensburg Linster. I'm sitting here in Stockholm and I'm joined by friends all the way in South Africa on two locations. One is in Concordia, in the Northern Cape, and the other one is in Rustenburg. And these folks have given us all their time. This is a very special time to actually share some of these things because the team in Concordia, which is in the Northern Cape, they just earlier this year won the the national social hackathon for coming up with an innovative idea that addresses issue of food security in their community. And as the prize that they receive is that they're traveling to Italy. Now, there are some of you are listening or tuning in now, or maybe see this later. We want to thank you especially because in some way you are or have contributed to their success already. But you've also opened your hearts to continue to support them, and we appreciate that. And on the other end of the conversation, we have Mathias Mvula. He's also in South Africa, but he's rather well seasoned in terms of his travels, particularly in on the African continent. He's an author, and this is the beginning of introducing him. We're going to have a good number of conversations with him down the line, so we appreciate his presence here with us today as well. I wanted to, just for the sake of taking care of some other matters here, needed to share some updated information. As we always say, we like to share some news with folks. And so right now on the screen, I want to show you what's coming up in terms of events where Learning Academy Worldwide will be present. And you can see it says Green Tech, and Green Tech is a horticulture conference or expo that happens in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, every year. This year is the same. It will take place in Amsterdam, and it is from the 10th to the 12th of June. And our Learning Academy Worldwide has a booth there, so we are present at this event because we want to understand and read about the latest in the industry. There's going to be such a lot of things happening, and I'm just browsing through it at the moment just to show you, some of the parts of this particular event. It's not just that it's that we are attending. I am responsible for moderating some of these sessions there as well. The reason why we an organization, as Learning Academy Worldwide, wants to be there is because we want to know what happens in innovation. We want to know what is the latest in technology. What is the latest in agricultural technology? Why do we want to know that? Well, so that we can modify the way that we teach our young people. Those three young people that you saw this evening, they don't need to look at their future as just ones that could potentially work just in South Africa. We think that the more we talk about what agricultural technological solutions are happening in the world, we can teach our students that which is necessary for them to actually be globally relevant. And I see a time where our young people will come through our bridging programs and through our continued support programs would be able to take up a job anywhere in the world because of their knowledge of the science in agriculture and the new technologies in agriculture in order for them to be playing their part in strengthening food security in this world. So thank you so much for supporting them, and thank you for supporting Learning Academy worldwide in its endeavors. And right now we are all on the screen, all of us together. Um, Vanitas, if I could just come back to you, we got another 8 minutes here before we finish up. Um, One of the wonderful things about competition is that it you learn. I think, as you partly mentioned, the socialization part of it. But could you also maybe speak a little bit to the potential that this program this far did it add meaningfully to your knowledge in agriculture? And in which way did it do that?
It did add knowledge because before this competition, I knew nothing about agriculture, and our uncle Leon teached us is a lot of stuff. Like I could say the words and the names of the species of every plant. I would just know like two or three, but to be fair, like even though I can't remember the names, I could
Mm,
actually tell which would be suitable to grow in which earth.
mm,
So yeah, I do have a problem with names, but I do remember how things look like and what to do with it. So I would say this really helped my knowledge with agriculture
mm,
and to know better. And I would love to share it with all my friends and people younger than me.
right. And so that acquisition of knowledge uh, is Stacey Lee, if you can comment on that. Um, in your view, do you think that that is a very, very important part of learning? Because sometimes people just say, look, as long as you have, you can get along, but and sometimes we don't want to insist that young people must know. But do you think, or let me put it this way, do you think it's valuable and important that the likes of your teachers, Leon and Marco, insist that you know what you're talking about? Do you share the importance that they place on knowledge?
Yes, I do. I also think it's very important for us, for
Mm,
every one of us students, exactly the names and exactly the plants that should be planted here.
mm,
We should be well educated on it
mm,
because we are Concordia. That is what we do. So I think it's very important if we do not know all the names and all the plants
mm,
and all the ways to farm the plant, what would be the point of this?
mm,
What would be the point of us being in this and learning? Where's the educational part?
mm.
So I'm yes, truly believe it is important.
Is that your conviction as well, Danville? I mean, I know, I do remember, if I go back now to George, where you had notes in front of you to keep yourself organized, and that's always important. Do you also share both Vanitas and Stacey Lee's importance that they place on knowledge, that you've got to know your stuff?
Yeah, I agree with my colleagues here. For me, the thing is, as I mentioned earlier, because we're working in a team, there are some aspects that I would prefer to leave to them because I wasn't part of everything from the start. So when it comes to the agriculture,
Mm,
I'm not too invested in that. Um, um, I'm Yeah. So I'm not too invested in that, but then from the technology side, that's where I come in, and
Mm.
then I want to use this. Though I don't know the type of potatoes that we grow, I know that the potatoes will be grown by my colleagues. I will be there to help and to help distribute these and get it out on a much bigger platform using
Mm.
the technology skills.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, we can be part of not just Concordia care, but care for Africa,
Mm.
a global care. Yeah, that's where I come in, and
Yeah.
that's my view.
Oh, there's a new name, right? Global Care, right there. Now, this is very, very interesting, Matthias. I don't know what you're thinking about that young man. He's more interested in technology than potatoes, but he sees the dependence on potatoes to give him his technological livelihood. That's quite interesting, and I do think, Matthias, I don't know, would you agree with me that as they speak, they seem to have a clear understanding of what role each one of them play?
Exactly, exactly.
Mm.
You see, the way I view passion and knowledge
Mm.
and blending it into technology is in such a way that when you have passion, it means you cannot let go of that which you have in your hands.
Mm.
But then uh, the sustainability of the same passion
Mm.
comes in with knowledge,
Mm.
because it's knowledge now that is speaking to him to say, let's have the global care, let's have this, let's have that. And then he's discovering to say, oh, okay, um, from the technological perspective, these are the things that we are supposed to put in place in order for us to see ourselves on the other side.
Mm.
But he is not good at planting the potatoes, but he is good at, reading in between the lines to say, okay, if the potatoes didn't germinate within this period, then technological wise, these are the things that I'm supposed to put in place in order for the potatoes to germinate within the stipulated period. I've discovered one thing for this period that I've been here.
Mm.
Uh, I just clocked 2 months today that I've just been here carrying out trainings and the like.
Mm.
So I discovered that here there's what they call black frost. Now I planted some seeds somewhere in the gardens where I'm carrying out some research and the like,
Mm.
but those seeds didn't germinate up to date. Only one species of the seeds germinated. Now
Mm.
that entails me now to say, in as much as we are passionate about sustainable agriculture, sustainable development, and making sure that there's food security, we also need to study the environments where we are, because failure to which we cannot achieve the goal that we have at hand.
Fantastic.
So it's so interesting.
And I'm glad you're mentioning the fact that one tests things and you have to check. But I do appreciate the fact that you took the scientific issue of germination to and connected that to technology. So, Danville, I hope that you are understanding that the technology or mastering the technology is not just so you can avoid planting the potatoes, but 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 also but also that there are a lot of other aspects to agricultural technology that you can master. But listen, folks, we've come to the end of this wonderful, wonderful session. Um, so what I'm going to do is get you all to go home. Well, I know some of you are not home. Maybe some of you are home already. It's been very, very good to have you. Thank you very, very much for joining us and for being part of this conversation. It's been very, very meaningful. We're going to have you all back. And as you prepare for your trip to Italy, we want to wish you all of the best. And we'll certainly have another conversation before you make it over to a part of the world that is really very, very precious. A little place called Spello, which is north of Rome, about 2 hours and 15 minutes north from Rome. in Italy. It's going to be something very, very special, and we appreciate the fact that you um, can not only represent your community or Concordia or the province, but also the country. Thanks to you, Matthias, for joining us. And as I said, we're going to have some more conversations down the line with you as we explore knowing a little bit more about your wonderful story. It's something that we do very well, I think, here at Learning Academy Worldwide, to create a platform. Is that what we're doing right here? Create a platform for people to tell their story and tell that story to the world. Thank you very, very much for joining us. And for those of you who joined us from wherever you did, very, very big thanks to you. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your presence. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.